Good day, friends. My name is Antonika Chanel. I'm an Eastern medicine practitioner, and today we are joined by Lola White, transformational coach with White Iris. Now, I love interviewing people, but Lola is very special because Lola has had a story and an experience that not many people have either, or maybe many people have gone through, but hers is very, very special because she has figured out how emotions affect weight management, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Lola is someone who has traveled up and down the Florida coastline, teaching people about nutrition, how enzymes work in the body, and really encouraging and promoting plant-based medicine resources in order to help you move along in your life and your weight loss so that way you can live the best life now. She has worked with several functional medicine doctors and have worked with, people of great knowledge, and has just really taking action and educating others. So Lola, thank you so much for joining us, for volunteering to share your story and to help others, identify how emotions affect our weight management. Would you be so kind to, share a little bit more about your story and where you come from and,
Absolutely.
how you
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. For the time being, I won't go into too much of the story, right? We'll save that for another time. But I started this business with my mother-in-law. Me and her started it, and primarily our focus was weight loss because that was something that we both were battling. We even had a slogan that was battle of the bulge, right? It's like battling the bulge of the thighs, the hips, the buttocks. But what we failed to really recognize early on was there was so much more going on underneath, right? And what happened is that the deeper layers of the emotions was actually what was holding us back in a lot of ways from really being able to move forward. And the weight was just a result of what had been going on in the body for many, many years. So we started this 7 years ago with the intention of just focusing on helping people with weight, and it's evolved to so much more. So we started to recognize that it's more than just the weight, right? There's so many other things that are going on that keep the body in a weight resistant pattern or holding on to the weight because there's a believed belief or a benefit even. There's so many other things that can be going on why somebody is resistant in weight. It could be toxicity, it could be the emotions, but overall there's a tremendous inflammatory response for the most part that is going on that keeps the body stuck. And the emotions can be, or are, not can be, they are an inflammatory process scientifically. And this was the biggest revelation for us going through our journey, was recognizing, wow, like these people are taking the weight off, but the challenge is really keeping the weight off, developing these healthy lifestyles, and really recognizing you're worth it. You're deserving of that new desired healthier lifestyle even. And when women and men don't feel deserving of that new body, or don't see it as a reality because their emotions are inhibiting them from being able to move forward and maintain, they will create what is called that self-sabotage pattern and go back to the old ways of thinking, being, and responding.
So Lola, tell us more about your experience and what had happened. Like, at what weight were you before you decided that, I'm going to make this change? And how did you decide and stay committed to that transition?
Well, yeah, there was so much going on from a young age. I noticed I was very conscious of my weight. I mean, 8, 9, 10, I just remember wearing clothes and feeling like I wanted to hide. I would wear we would get hand-me-downs and stuff like that, which was fine, but they had shoulder pads in it. So they made me look boxier and older than I was. So I would wear these really long dresses. I would never show any skin, right? I remember the first time I wore a tube top and I felt naked. There was nothing showing, but I just felt naked because I just wasn't used to that. But those were the type of clothes I would wear because I would want to hide. we would eat very late at night. I would eat to please my family. And oftentimes I would find myself binging and then purging to release because I felt so guilty. And this constant battle back and forth for maybe a good 2 years of eating to satisfy other people or family members and then purging to satisfy myself really created a tremendous conflict and internal frustration within myself, because I knew I wasn't helping my body, right? And the idea to please everybody, it started to just suppress me more and more. And food was an outlet for me in some ways. And the emotions just really started to build. And I started to hide more and more. I was 50 pounds overweight. I was 170 pounds just about, at barely clearing 5'1". I started to have kidney issues. I was on pressure meds. I had to have polyps and nodules removed from the sinus cavity that was growing that would affect my eyesight, and if not taken care of, affect my brain. The kidney mass was a major thing. I posted on part of my bio, and the doctor called to say that they found the mass, and it was just like I was in the middle of my bath, and I could just remember it as of yesterday. And this is what I'm talking about the emotions, because they're so strong that they're measured in visuals and images. So that memory of me sitting in the tub, I can remember it almost like it's yesterday. And that even response kind of like triggers me a bit. But I remember getting the call and him saying, you know, you really got to come in. We gotta, this is serious. We're going to have to look at this and take care of it. And I went in for other scans, and we needed to follow medical procedures. And I said, you know what? I had the medication I was still taking, but that's when I really had the choice to decide to take a hold of my health. And I started doing macrobiotic and eliminating like all these other stuff and doing more and more research. And what's really ironic is my mother was like a health guru. She would take me in, you know, what used to be Unicorn in Miami and health food stores. And I would hate it. I would hate the smell and the bars and the nutrients, but I would just want to spend time with her. So I would just go and look at the tiger milk bar, the one chocolate bar that I liked that had the tiger on it. And I just like read the same bar for like hours while she was in there. And here I am today, right, going through a lot of the same steps that I resisted. But it came apparent that it was more than just the medication that was going to be needed to really help me. And I had a spark within me that says, I know I'm deserving of something more or a better life. I just don't know how or where to start. And I think a lot of people go through that, you know, when there's so much going on, right? So I have my kidneys, I have my weight, I have my emotions, I have the traumatic, chaotic past from childhood, and just everything just combined. And it was very overwhelming to the point where it caused me to freeze. And I just had to get very clear in that moment when I got that call was, what choice am I making now to get closer to being healthier? What can I do right now? And that really helped to put things in perspective, that I could take that one moment at a time and just in 2 weeks follow up with the doctor, see where my labs are at, see how my health is at. And believe it or not, within 3 weeks of changing the diet, I was surprised, like the pressure started to come down, and I started to practice more of just being mindful of what I was eating and when I was eating. And that really helped. It did. It didn't lock in there. The real lock in for maintenance wise and carrying on that lifestyle came later on in my life. But that experience allowed me to recognize that I could support, in fact, reverse the illness and the disease and the damage that I had come to my life to some degree, maybe not completely, but to some degree, to where I could measure and say, a year ago I was here and a year later I'm here. Like, wow, what a tremendous difference. And later on, go ahead.
I'm curious to know, you know, that how do you describe the emotions that you were going through, that you know, what was it inside of you? What was it that made you feel so, you know, how do you put that in words? what were you feeling? What were you, how do you describe your emotions that caused you to develop?
There were so many. One thing I do remember feeling is fear of everything, fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, fear of displeasing people. There was such a tremendous amount of fear of just not being enough, right? Like no matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. And it even hearing those words, I can remember that little girl just trying to find her path, trying to find some type of identity, but wasn't really able to because she was just living in this place of just fear of everything. And that emotion of fear, I think to some degree led to regret, right? Regret of not doing the things that she might have desired, or she had an inclination, or shutting that voice off and saying, you don't matter.
So looking back, what was it that you needed in order to break through that fear so that way you can live the body and feel worthy of who you are?
I needed to embrace. I needed to embrace not only the fear, but the other emotions that were there. I needed to embrace the anger that was there. I needed to embrace the sadness that was there. And we've talked about this before, you know, sweeping things under the rug only lasts for so long. So the only emotion that I was able to feel was fear. And there were many others that were there that I really, truly didn't address. Sadness meant weakness to some, you know, and in my family, you know, the woman was strong, the woman was relentless, the woman was, but there's a balance to that, to where we need to recognize in being weak or being emotional doesn't mean that we're not strong, right? We can be emotional and recognize where we are and still be strong, getting through and embracing and being in flow. And that's something that I've learned that has changed my life, is the ability to truly be in flow and adapt to situations, but embrace these emotions that are coming. Because by bulldozing these emotions and saying they don't exist or they don't matter, right? That's a part of you that you're suppressing. And these emotions become tangible in the body. When they become tangible, they start to wreak havoc, whether it's free radical or damage, disease at a cellular level. And so many years that I had just told that little girl, you know, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. You know, it's okay, it's okay. We'll get through this. And there's nothing wrong with saying it's okay, but constantly telling yourself you're fine. When somebody tells me, like a client tells me and texts me back, or we're communicating and says, I'm fine, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Alarms go off, because if there is one word that, you know, means you're not fine, is when a woman says, I'm fine, right? I'm fine. And I was just like, we're meant for more than just being okay or fine. I'm fine. It's just there's no level of vibrational energy that's going to elevate you in that statement. And that's where I noticed I was lacking. I was lacking that vibrational energy of truly being in flow and embracing who I was at a core cellular level.
So what's it like to work with you? What's it like to be on the program? Because you created White Iris out of this story that you've lived, and you transformed your body completely. So what is it like to work with you?
I would say it's epic, you know. You know, going back before, I don't think I would say that, but I truly can see the value that me and Violet have, and other practitioners have that have walked this journey. You know, we talk the talk and we walk the walk. There's nothing that I wouldn't do that I don't tell my clients to do, right? And any program, any method, anything that I ask anybody, or any nutrient or herb or supplement or technique or modality that I am practicing or preaching, even if I don't teach it to my clients, it represents who I am, and it represents the belief that I have that it truly works, right? So going back to your question, there's it's transformational. I mean, we have this new thing that we talk about. It's the facilitation of transformation, and being able to facilitate that transformation in a bio-individual state is really where you start to see the client's vibrational energy come about, to where they're just, they're not new, right? But they're experiencing things within them that they don't remember or never thought they could feel again, or they're recreating that identity. And it's so strong that it affects every aspect of their life, from being a mom to being a wife, to the intimacy level, to their work, productivity. And that's what I would say really, is that the clients that work with us for a 90-day process, they can't imagine how they're going to feel at the end of 90 days, because it's that community of support, it's the accountability, but it's also that high vibrational energy that they're getting, you know, week in, week out, and sometimes even if they're VIP, that daily contact of accountability, and helping them to navigate their own awareness of truly what works best for them.
You know, it would be great to know how to communicate with you on a regular basis, and to learn more about this transformational program you have. Do you have a Facebook page or group where people can correspond with you? Do you do like any types of discovery calls? Like how are people able to communicate with you and find out more about how they can make this transformation too?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a 3-step program, 90-day total transformation. It's Body Lux lifestyle session that we're offering. That's a complimentary Body Lux session with me or Violet, my partner. And we have Body Lux Wellness Facebook group where we have accountability, and White Iris TC1, or White Iris Transformational Coaching and Wellness, is our main page. And you can just feel free to go on ahead and message us through Facebook, or check out our actual website, which is whiteiristc.com. And Iris, the White Iris, is my last name, and Iris is actually the name of my daughter. My daughter's name is Irissa, and the reason why we ended up changing the name is we are really creating a new legacy. We are breaking the chain of old pattern beliefs and recreating our own identities to help us build a stronger legacy of women that can get out there and truly see what else is possible for them. And I want to model that, more importantly, not only for the other women, but for my daughter, and creating this new legacy from a generation of women that truly believe that they're broken. And we're here to tell you, right, Antoniqua, that you're not broken. You're not broken. There's nothing to fix. You just need that support, that love, and that energy, because that love, that true passion and love, is really what's going to allow you to see your worth.
So in your Facebook group, Body Lux, is that a public group? Is it a private group? Is it something where anybody can join and they just kind of communicate with you and get a better feel of what they can expect from the program that you offer?
It's a private group, so Body Lux Wellness, and it's private. We wanted to keep it private because we want to make sure that we're able to modulate who's coming in, who's coming out, and to hold a safe space for people when they want to talk about health. Women don't like talking about sometimes their emotions and their health publicly, right? You want to say, hey, I'm 20, 30 pounds overweight. And if you do feel uncomfortable going in the group, I've had some people just private message me, in Body Lux Wellness. So that's fine. On Facebook, it's Lauren, Lola, and whiteiristc.com to apply for your discovery session. So yeah, this has been great.
So anybody can they can request to be a part of the group. It's
correct.
Okay, great. So I admire that, because that allows people to completely be in contact with you on a daily basis, and to ask questions, and to figure out what is the right step for them to take next. And this could be it. I hope it's it for them. And it also allows them to discover more of who you are, and the other people who are in the group who are using the program, maybe on the program, or are also looking for feedback or have been getting feedback. So I would love to talk some more. There's so much, but I know that, our time has expired. So I just want to thank you so much, Lola, for being here and for giving us this testimony that you have, and for sharing your business with us. And I look forward to exploring more, topics with you based on how to help people live their best life. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Mahalo.
Do you have any other closing remarks before we end this broadcast?
It's just been amazing connecting with you and connecting with like-minded people. And one thing I can say is the community of women and men walking this path and walking this journey has helped me and many others truly align with what their purpose is. So I thank you as well for doing the work that you're doing.
And for all of our viewers, you were designed, you're created for greatness. You're a magnificent being. You are an equation that cannot be duplicated or recreated. So live your life, live your purpose, and find those people along your path who are willing to help you create the being that you are so that you can live your best life now. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do for you. This is the service that we want to bring to you. And this is why I bring people like Lola into my vortex, into your vortex, so you can achieve these wonderful experiences in life. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.